Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
I'm Special Guest Jake.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, from elderly emperors to eccentric elves. And today we're talking about the Eldritch Knight.
The
Dungeoncast. Hey Jake.
What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. I'm excited to have you on the show. It's been a hot minute.
It's been a while.
It's your special guest, Jake, everyone.
What's up?
Will had a baby. Well, not Will, but like he's involved in a new child entering his world. His son has been born. Everybody's doing great as far as I know. I've talked to him a couple times. Yeah. We've had a couple business calls, a couple personal chats, and things seem to be going well. So congratulations to Will.
Yes.
His newborn baby. He'll be back in a few weeks. We're going to put out maybe 2 or 3 episodes without him, but don't worry, he'll be back. He wrote us some sweet Eldritch Knight notes that we never got to. We were going to pair it with the Psy Warrior, but we're just going to do it solo, and your special guest, Jake, is going to help us with the character creation. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Much appreciated. Newer listeners may not know you, but back in the day, we've had you on a small handful of episodes.
A couple times, yeah.
And you're a mainstay on Super Quest Saga, our actual play game. Mm-hmm. Where you play Persephone Goldpetal, the Fearbolg Druid. Yeah, and that's a really great game. If you haven't seen that, you should go check it out.
It is.
But let's get into the content for today's episode. I will be leading you through the lore of the Eldritch Knight, what the player's handbook has to say about it. Anyway. The archetypical Eldritch Knight combines the martial mastery common to all fighters with a careful study of magic. Eldritch Knights use magical techniques similar to those practiced by wizards. They focus their study on 2 of the 8 schools of magic, abjuration and evocation. Abjuration spells grant an Eldritch Knight additional protection in battle, and evocation spells deal damage to many foes at once, extending the fighter's reach in combat. These knights learn a comparatively small number of spells, committing them to memory instead of keeping them in a spellbook. So this is more flavor on, like, I fight, I get into the combat, I can tank, I can do things involving my strength, but also have that touch of magic and flavor that a wizard gets. Mm-hmm. So that's the general idea here when you're doing Eldritch Knight stuff. You're going to get a list of spells. You don't need your spell book. It's all up here, baby. Mm-hmm. So spellcasting, when you reach 3rd level, you augment your martial prowess with the ability to cast spells. So I think you spend some time fighting at level 3. You've studied enough. You know how to implement it into your combat. So your cantrips, you're going to learn 2 cantrips of your choice from the wizard spell list. You learn an additional wizard cantrip of your choice at 10th level. And I believe you've built a 10th level Eldritch Knight today, right?
I have.
Cool. And we're going to get into that at the closer to like the end of the episode. We usually save our character creation stuff for the back, so definitely stay tuned for that.
Sick.
Spell slots. The Eldritch Knight spellcasting table shows how many spell slots you have to cast your wizard spells of 1st level and higher. That's going to be in the PHB. You can find that. It's I'm not going to detail it necessarily here unless we need to get into it. We're going to talk a little bit about it. So like spells known of 1st level and higher, you know 3 1st level wizard spells of your choice, 2 of which you must choose from the abjuration and evocation spells in the wizard list like we detailed earlier. The spells known column of the Eldritch Knight spellcasting table shows when you learn more wizard spells of 1st level or higher. Each of these spells must be an abjuration or evocation spell of your choice once again, and must be of a level for which you have spell slots. It's basic spellcasting stuff. Mm-hmm. What do you think about like the power here? Like do you think it's a good balance, or do you think it's kind of lacking one way or the other?
I think so. I mean, after building it, it's definitely more viable than I thought, because this character was a previous version of a different character I made, but I went Paladin instead of going Eldritch Knight. But now after building this, I think we talked about this before. I said, this thing is so strong. I'm kind of sad that this isn't like an actual character of mine. I mean, it can be. It might be, but it's very strong.
So here's the thing about it is like fighters, I feel like are underrated. It's a nice opening class because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on, especially for the first few levels. But as you level, like the later you go on as a fighter, you get really rewarded with the extra ability scores and stuff. Yeah. And I think for these character creations, we were more encouraged to take feats to diversify, which I think is a great way to play the game. A lot of people, I see arguments about people not being into the feats as like a thing. But if you want to, your fighter's going to be so bland if you're just taking ability scores, and it's going to be really heavily reliant on the role play.
Yeah.
And you're just swinging that sword or whatever. But adding feats and like providing the flavor, I think that's a big deal.
Definitely.
Can really help change the game for you.
It did for this one, I will say, because I did do feats instead of ability scores, and I got a pretty nasty wombo combo going.
Wombo combo. Okay, so your spellcasting ability is going to be intelligence. That's going to be for your wizard spell. Since you learn your spells through study and memorization, you use your intelligence whenever a spell refers to your spellcasting ability. In addition, you use your intelligence modifier when setting the saving throw DC for a wizard spell you cast and making an attack roll with one. So your DC is going to be like, what's that? It's like
8 plus your proficiency
plus your intelligence score. So that's how you're going to get the save. The spell attack modifier is going to be, what is it?
Proficiency and plus modifier.
The modifier for the intelligence. Okay, so that's like you roll, I cast the spell attack roll. You roll, you add that modifier, whatever. If the spell says your opponent makes the save, that's how you do that. Like you use the other number. So this is the juicy part. Level 3, that's when at level 3 you start becoming more than just a fighter or a fighter plus. In this scenario, you're more than just a fighter. You're casting magic, although you primarily should be using it to fight, and we'll get into that. Weapon bond. At 3rd level, you learn a ritual that creates a magical bond between yourself and one weapon. You perform the ritual over the course of 1 hour, which can be done during a short rest. The weapon must be within your reach throughout the ritual, at the conclusion of which you touch the weapon and forge the bond. Once you have bonded a weapon to yourself, you can't be disarmed of that weapon unless you are incapacitated. It is on the same plane. If it is on the same plane of existence, you can summon that weapon as a bonus action on your turn, causing it to teleport instantly to your hand. You can have up to 2 bonded weapons. You can summon only one at a time with your bonus action. If you attempt to bond with a 3rd weapon, you must break the bond with one of the other 2. This seems to be a little different from like attunement, although it's similar.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of rules for attunement, but this seems to have like a special sort of thing that's similar to that. Do you have like a cool story that you're going to get into with that? Have you thought about how you're going to bond with your weapons?
No, I just liked I think when I had originally wanted to build this, I liked the idea of potentially being able to throw the weapon. Yeah. And then be able to call it back to you. Like, not necessarily with like that bonus Thor, action? But yes. Yeah. Like, I was like, that would be so freaking dope just to overhead slam something. Or I'm using a glaive, so just to javelin the glaive at somebody and then just call it back. Like, that seems so freaking cool.
See, in our actual play, I play a blade singer, and I like kind of homebrewed this into an item have.
Yeah.
Because there are rules for attunement, and like, I was a high level character when I entered the game, so I was allowed to have like magic items. I picked something just like this. Yeah. But instead of a bonus action, I just kind of like free summon it. Yeah. And I think that's cool flavor for this class is like, instead of using up that bonus action to kind of like do that. But I understand the balance here. Like, your fighter, unless you're like 2-weapon fighting, you're not really going to use your bonus action so much for stuff. Yeah. Unless like your build includes that. Are you using a lot of bonus action stuff?
Let me look. Not really. Yeah. I just get an extra attack on my bonus action. That's about it.
I think there's some cool magic that you probably have access to that will use bonus action stuff.
Probably, yeah. Like, but I didn't pick any of those.
I think there's Shadow Blade from Xanathar's that like lets you bonus action summon it, and it has the throne property.
Or like Misty Step. Like, if I would have taken that one, that was one of the spells I was thinking about. That's a bonus action.
Yeah, that would be pretty much it. Like a second attack with your offhand. Misty Step. Yeah. But otherwise, this is like a really cool ability. You can stash your weapon, enter a place, and not have it on you. Oh, yes, yeah. And then be like, hey, guess what, mother truckers? Like, I am armed. I'm always armed. And you're going to listen to me now. Like, you thought you trapped me? You thought you trapped me?
Yeah. You're trapped. You're trapped with me. Or like, it's also, I mean, I don't know if you've talked about Rohan before on the show.
It's been a long time. It was my first ever character. It comes up every now and again. You always remember your first.
You do, and Brian lost a very dope sword that was like part of his backstory, and this feature
can't happen to you.
Would be dope, yeah, because you wouldn't have lost it. He lost it inside of a Kelpie.
A homebrew monster. Works like the Kelpie from like Scottish lore where you stick to it.
Or like freaking Neverending Story, I think, is also, because it starts as like a horse kind of thing. Yeah. But Brian lost his dope.
Story. Wow.
Brian lost his dope homebrew sword, and it just...
Yeah, I had like half a page on that sword.
You did. That was a very big part of your backstory. So
just gone.
That kind of thing, like, kind of influenced it a little bit, because I was like, oh, this kind of thing might not happen to me. if I get a dope weapon, like, I can at least keep it.
And there are like rust monsters in the game that can like make your weapons deteriorate. It doesn't say anything about stopping that from happening.
That's true.
Although the rust feature, like the thing that makes it rust, might not be able to rust magical weapons. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's not something I'm going to look up right now either. Let's get into war magic. So beginning at 7th level, when you use your action to cast a cantrip, you can make one weapon attack as a bonus action. Well, there's the bonus action. That's important.
There it is.
But that's really cool. That lets you kind of do a little bit more during your turn. That 7th level, that's high utility. Do you get your extra attack by then, right?
Yeah.
For your fighter too?
Level 5.
Level 5. So use your bonus action. So you can go attack cantrip. Or no, can you do that? Make one weapon attack as a bonus action. I don't think you get to do the extra
It'd
attack
probably be
when you use this
cantrip.
war magic feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cantrip and then bonus action attack. But that was kind of it played into the build, I think, because I have lightning lore as a cantrip. So pulling somebody in and then being able to hit them immediately seems dope as hell.
Dude, I always pictured the Samus whip.
That's actually exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like lightning. It reaches out and grabs,
dope.
from the Metroid games. Do that, and on the pull in, it turns back into a sword or whatever.
Yes.
Or maybe the lightning lure comes out of your offhand. Like, there's no rules saying your weapon has to be the thing doing it,
That's
right?
very true. Yeah.
Although it does say make a spell attack.
Yeah, it didn't really say
melee kind of thing.
Like,
I have it in that book.
Yeah, when I was going through everything, it didn't say like I was using like a spellcasting focus like other classes spellcasting. Like a cleric has a holy symbol or whatever. Like maybe I just have magic. I could just do magic.
Yeah, my flavor on is it comes out of my sword.
Yeah.
And the sword is what's doing it. But like it doesn't need to be that.
Yeah.
You the class says you've memorized the spell.
Yeah.
You don't need a book or anything. At level 10, you get the Eldritch Strike. You learn how to make your weapon strikes undercut a creature's resistance to your spells. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, that creature has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes against a spell you cast before the end of your next turn. That's fucking cool.
Yes.
You get to do like a setup move as part of your like main sort of action economy here. That's great. That's great flavor. At level 15, you're going to get the Arcane Charge. And I think you built to 10, right?
To 10, yeah.
So we're not going to see this feature on your character today, but know that as you keep leveling towards the end game, level 15 is really high. I mean, a lot of campaigns end there. I think Crit Roll 2.
They did, the second campaign.
For Crit Roll 2, but it's over now.
Like 15, 16, I think they kind of
somewhere in there.
They did like one last fight in that episode, yeah.
It's pretty common.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you also that he ends, and he has on the show before, that he ends a lot of his stuff. He doesn't really foresee it going past that. In a lot of cases, it's hard to go up to 20 sometimes. It takes so long. It takes forever.
It's very true.
At 15th level, you gain the ability to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see when you use your action surge.
Ooh,
that's cool. That's a fighter ability that you get that lets you take an extra action during your turn. You can teleport before or after this additional action.
That's very dope.
But you're gonna teleport.
Yeah.
That's cool. Maybe you can teleport to like 5 feet to your left, because you can't teleport to where you are because you're occupying it.
Yeah.
So maybe you can teleport 5 feet to your left or right or whatever if you don't want to move very far.
It seems, or like it seems like a cool like catch up move. Like if something's running away from you, you can action surge and then go to them, and then now you have 3 attacks to unload on some fool.
Yeah, or like you down a guy, I'm gonna action surge, teleport, and down another guy.
Yes, yeah.
That's some cool crowd control stuff.
Very high killability. Yeah.
Your fighter is gonna be crowd control-y, like naturally. That's kind of like what's gonna go down when the extra attack. You're gonna want to take people down. You typically have a high AC. You can body a couple people at the same time, or like even some fighters are built to like buddy up next to somebody to give bonuses to AC, like a +1 defensive duelist, I think is what it's called. And there's a lot of cool stuff that came out in Tasha's that I wanted to talk about, like for fighting styles. I don't think you took any of them today, which is totally fine.
I didn't, but they did seem cool.
I have a player using blind fighting. They can just see 10 feet like through the earth, like Toph from Airbender.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they can do stuff like that. There's a lot of cool stuff. I think we'll get into it, a lot of these on another episode, but like there's cool stuff like the unarmed attack, thrown weapon. Like you can do a lot of really cool, unique stuff with your fighter these days.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that they got into a couple more like. It needed that diversification. Like we saw a lot of narrow stuff with the fighter, and now that Tasha's is out and Xanathar's is out, we're seeing a lot more options.
Versatility, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what like turns off a lot of people of playing fighters, because like you were saying, you get kind of pigeonholed into like, okay, I'm now just gonna do 7 attacks. Yes, you get 7 attacks, but
that's cool.
But that's all you're contributing. You know what I mean? So the diversity.
It's always the comparison to like the wizard who is doing so much cool shit right next to you.
Yeah.
Fireball and all that, and your Icewing Sword.
Yes.
And there's also Warlock has the same issue where it's like EB baby, let's Eldritch Blast. It's basically at range swing sword, which is cool. But like we've got archers too and stuff.
It's true.
But, I've never thought about an archer for an Eldritch Knight. I've only ever thought about a sword fighter. All this stuff seems so sword fightery to me. But a bow is a perfectly legitimate thing for this.
Feels viable, especially like if you're gonna flavor it to be, like, oh, I'm just doing distance. Like you could probably bomb on people from a distance with a bow or spells. Like magic missile was an option. Like there's definitely things you could do from a distance. That would probably be very dope.
You can call upon Melf and the acid arrow.
You can, yeah.
Not MILF. Melf.
Oh, damn.
It's a different thing.
Yes, yeah.
One's an acronym. Starting at level 18, you're going to get the improved war magic, which is like war magic, but better.
Yeah.
When you use your action to cast a spell, you can make 1 weapon attack as a bonus action. I mean, cool. So
is that the change, that instead of casting a cantrip, you can now just do a spell? That's the difference?
You can do straight up like a spell and then
weapon
and
attack.
At 18th level, you're going to be doing some cool magic.
Yeah.
Now, I will go back and reference the table now.
Yeah, I'm sure at that point you probably have...
You have 3rd level spells. You get 3 of them by that point.
Yeah.
You're not going above 4th level spells, which there are a lot of really cool 4th level spells and 3rd level spells as well, and 2nd level spells as well, and 1st level spells. Like all these categories have really cool spells.
Yeah.
But there's some fucking dope ass 5th level spells.
Yeah, once you get above there,
Xanathar's. Like you get some really cool stuff. Like blade singing, when you're trying to do the more magic-y thing, you're gonna have some stuff here, but you're gonna miss out on all this cool fighter stuff. You're gonna miss out on your second wind, your extra attacks, and all the additional ability score buffs that you're gonna get by level 18 are really gonna set you apart. What do you think of at a glance, now that you've heard all the features of this class coupled with the fighter abilities that you get, how do you feel about the Eldritch Knight compared to like other classes?
I think it's comparable. Like I feel like if you were to go like Bladesinger, that's more wizard heavy.
Yes.
So it's more spellcasting, but your attacks are kind of tacked on. But this is if you want to go the inverse of that almost. Like you're more fighter or offense weapon based, and you just have extra magic if you want to do that. Yeah. Which is a cool flavor, I think. Like again, it feels comparable.
It also feels like you're gonna stretch out your ability scores a little bit. Like you're gonna want some strength for your fighter stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna want your intelligence for your spellcasty stuff.
Yeah.
And then what about your dex? You need AC. And then your con, you need to be conny to do stuff. Is con what you're sacrificing, and you're taking the shield spell to kind of like trade off there, or like what are you doing? That I think that's the big detriment of this class. And its level 18th ability is subpar. And me and Will talk about this. Like some of the high level abilities for your subclass are really, really cool and nice and feel right. And it's either that, it feels good. It's never typically like too OP, or it's like, especially considering your 18th level, it's hard to get like something that's going to make you super duper extra powerful. But this just feels underwhelming a little bit to me as an 18th level thing. Like it is cool. Like it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times I'm going to find myself doing a cantrip anyway.
It's very true.
Is that lightning lure bread and butter combo going to be like the thing I go to? Yeah. I don't know. All right, Jake, what'd you build? Tell me, start with the name and like maybe a little history about, like we've talked about Glader on the show. With you not here as well, it comes up. He just comes up. He's a
dope character.
He's iconic in the deep Dungeoncast lore that is referenced here.
Well, this was this was my first build for Glader. So instead of
Glader Bright Scales.
Glader
right?
Bright Scales was his name. Got both of those names from Aragon.
Yeah. Man, people hate on Aragon.
It's not that bad. It's a pretty good book series. I'm not gonna lie.
I think the movies is what people hate on.
The movie was like...
That's right. There's only one, huh?
It wasn't that bad, but yes, it was just the one movie. I mean, it could have been better, but I mean, Jeremy Irons is a dope Braum. Like, he's cool. Like, the characters were good. It's kind of like the Dark Tower movie. Like, the characters...
I don't want to talk about that.
The characters that they got for the characters, like the actors that they got, like,
casting.
fit well.
I love the casting.
But then everything else about it
waste.
was... Yes, yeah. It's kind of the same thing. Like
Idris Elba? Are you serious?
Yes, yeah.
Matt
yeah.
McCong?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. So Glader Bright Scales. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man. So this is just like alternate universe Glader. Like if I would have gone Eldritch Knight like I'd originally planned instead of going Paladin.
Right.
This was the character.
Right. So you've played the Paladin version of the game, and if you're on our Patreon, you can listen to the Vault Raiders where Glader Bright Scales is annihilating everything with smites.
Because that's just that is literally the only like character inspiration I have is just like, I just want somebody to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
That's literally Glader.
You want a Paladin. The Paladin is cool. So this is like the alt reality version of Glader, what could have been.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Sure.
Obviously, you built a level 10 Eldritch Knight.
Yes.
So at level 3, you started getting spells. What'd you pick up?
Spells wise, so I get 3 cantrips at level 10.
Mm-hmm.
I got Lightning Lure and Shocking Grasp because he's a blue dragonborn. And so when I originally made him, I liked the lightning motif. And so I kind of wanted to stick with that. So Lightning Lure, Shocking Grasp. Then I also grabbed Mind Sliver.
Oh, what's that like? That's psychic?
It's psychic, but it also makes them have a minus D4 to their next saving throw, which would help the spellcasting.
Nice.
So I was kind of thinking kind of mid-maxing a little bit, but also
I mean, that's okay.
thinking about the character, you know what I mean?
You drive a disorienting spike of psychic energy into the mind of one creature you can see within range. It sounds like vicious mockery a little bit.
Speaking of Dark Tower, like that,
right?
That dude that used to Mind Javelin.
Yes.
I can't remember what the hell his name is.
Oh, dang it.
You usually remember it.
I usually do remember it. Oh my God, the comment section.
Yeah, I know.
The comment section of YouTube.
I'm sorry.
They're going to drag me, man. They're going to drag me. John, let's do this. We're doing this.
Is it John?
Let's just know what we know. Blue Heaven.
Yes. Definitely Blue Heaven. He was known by his like last name
Flanagan?
though.
It's not
it was
Flanagan.
something like that though. It was I was having that like I don't want to say O'Doherty because I don't think it was that, but it was
I'm Googling it.
Do it because I can't freaking remember. But John does sound right. Because he was one of the breakers and he threw mind javelins at people and killed them.
He's like the main character. He's like the facilitator that made the psychic stuff. This is a little bit of spoiler territory. This is major spoiler territory for Dark Tower. Sorry, everybody. Oh, I turned on the Dark Tower wiki. It's been a while since I've been here. And the first thing I see is Idris Elba. There he is in all his beautiful glory. Jeez. Oh, man. Oh, yep. Dinky Aaron Shaw. That's not him. That's one of his buddies.
Sorry, everybody, for this Dark Tower segue.
They know who we are. They know who I am here. Will's not here to reel it in.
Yeah. And I enable it, so I'm down for it.
Maybe I was thinking of Finley Ortega, who's like one of the...
that doesn't sound right, though.
Well, he's the chief of security there. But no, that's not his name. Well, let's get back to this towards the end. We have some back end. Let's get back to it. Yeah, Will's spiritually rolling over right now.
Yeah,
somewhere.
it is grave. He's like, please.
Not his grave.
Not his grave, but in
his paternity leave.
Yeah, holding his child. Like, what are they doing?
The Dungeoncast grants more maternity leave than America. Let's go.
They're killing my show. So that was kind of the whole having a D4 on their saving throw.
Yeah.
Minus, like it's almost a Bane plus. It's like as if Vicious Mockery and Bane had a baby, and it is this.
I like that. I like that a lot.
This spell.
Yeah. You can cast it at higher levels. You get the extra D6 on that.
Yeah, 2D6. It's decent damage.
But you're never going to cast this at a higher level. At higher levels is 5th. Oh, no. Yeah, that's as you level up for your cantrip. Yeah. So, yeah, you will get 2D6 eventually. So you'll be casting at the 2D6.
Yeah.
Nice.
So having a decent damage plus getting an extra D4 subtracted from their saving throw, hopefully I can pinch off my stuff. So
that's good. Yeah, I feel like Eldritch Knight needs a little bit where it can get it. So that's good.
Definitely. So those were my cantrips, and then for my first level spells, I picked Find Familiar, which just seemed fun. Maybe I could have a pet dragon. Maybe I could have whatever. Cool. Mage Armor.
Yeah.
Which maybe I did that before I put on heavy armor, so maybe I'll change that.
Yeah, you're in heavy armor. That brought your AC to 16, you said?
16, yeah. So maybe a different first level spell. Magic Missile, Shield, and Witch Bolt were my...
Ooh, Witch Bolt is a cool spell.
And I picked Warcaster for a feat, so I'm going to be able to concentrate on it.
So did you pick feat? Because you're going to get 3 ability score increases for your guy.
At 4, 6, and 8, and I picked 3 feats for all of them.
Okay, what was the? I guess it doesn't matter what order they went in, because like this character's being born at level 10 or whatever. But like, what did you go with besides Warcaster? Warcaster's really good, especially for this. But I feel like it goes into play nicely with the other stuff you picked,
with the other ones, yes. So Warcaster, and then I also picked Sentinel, and then I also picked Polearm Master because he's going to have a glaive.
Yeah.
So Polearm Master gave me the opportunity attack as soon as they come into my reach, which is 10 with the glaive.
So as you're approached, you can get in there.
And then with Warcaster, I can cast a spell.
Nice.
Instead. So I was thinking maybe comboing that, maybe popping off a Magic Missile, popping off a Witch Bolt, like something like that in order to do some damage before they even get to me. And then also lock them down with Sentinel so they can't move.
I feel like with Magic Missile, you don't even have to target the person that came into your range.
Yeah,
right?
I could just hit them, lock them down, and then hit somebody else.
That's pretty cool. That's good utility there.
It was some nice wombos.
Sentinel's what makes them stop moving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then also
that's actually really cool.
If they disengage, I can still do the opportunity attack, and I can still lock them down. So this character was wrapped around the polearm, because I find myself just going to I don't know, maybe I don't see a lot of like spears, halberds, glaives like in I guess regular.
Yeah, like in our
material.
Games, it hasn't come up,
Yeah.
but I know this is like a popular thing across like the tabletop world of 5e.
Yeah.
The Polearm Master Fighter is like a
staple?
It's like a thing, yeah, for sure. And I think I was telling you before, I made one on a character before.
Oh, you did, yes, yeah.
But yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah. Is basically what we're saying. You can optimize it in a lot of different ways, but coupled with the Sentinel feat and like stuff like that, is a solid.
It's nasty.
I think this is what is going to like give your character that edge.
I think so. Like I built him a little bit more like frontline based. That's why. So we didn't talk about my second level spells. My second levels were blur and invisibility.
Ooh, cool.
So it was
some defensive stuff.
Exactly. So I could put it on myself and then just like frontline and be bombing on fools, and then I'll spellcast if I need to. Like I said, that lightning lure to attack. Combo seems real nice, real viable. Plus with the other offensive spells I have.
Get over here.
Yeah, get over here, then just get stabbed.
Get stabbed.
Get over here, get stabbed. And then I'll probably get rid of Mage Armor since I don't need that. So some other freaking first level spell will probably take its place.
Mage Armor is not really going to actually do anything, right?
If I wouldn't have taken Heavy Armor,
then Mage Armor.
It would have, yeah.
So you could potentially have like an AC of what, 15 or 14 with medium?
Yeah, I think because it's based off my dex. My dex was only a +1, so it would probably be like 12, maybe 11. But I mean, I have shield, I have blur. Yeah, I had things defensive to kind of frontline like I wanted to, with also having a pretty good array of offensive capability.
So did you take? You get third level spells, right? At level 10?
No, I only had first and second.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool, man. First and second level spells. Your third level, you have to do 3 more levels before you get third level spells.
Ooh, 13.
Yeah, 13th level, and by then, you're getting another ability score increase. I don't think so. Not by that point. I think you get it again at 14.
Maybe at 12.
12? Oh yeah. I don't really know actually, but
because the ability score at 6 was unique to the fighter, because they have those middle of the
they got extra
road ones. Yeah.
So maybe in the later levels you could boost the AC a little bit, or do you think you would take another feat if you were to continue to level him?
I feel like he's pretty optimized with feats. I think I would go ability score at this point. Yeah. Because both my strength and my intelligence are 15. I could get those both up to 16 and have a +3 in both of those.
So what about the background, like the RP, like stuff, like for Glader Bright Scales? What is this version of Glader like, and like where is he from and stuff?
I feel like it was gonna mimic what the old one was. Like he was a soldier. So this, I think that mimics or that explains why he is more combat oriented, because he's used to that. He was frontlining. He was.
Yeah.
I feel like in a real war kind of scenario, a fighter with magic would be very viable.
Very useful, yeah.
So
especially one that's like blocking people from advancing.
Exactly. So I imagine this man is like a frontliner or like a vanguard to go up, soften things up. And then, I mean, if I was higher level, if I got access to 3rd level, I imagine I could get Fireball. Like,
yeah, because you're specializing in abjuration, evocation.
Yeah,
so yeah, Fireball is going to be like
and that would
crowd controlled.
So insane. Yeah.
Can you imagine if they had Fireball in 300?
Oh man, that would change it. Yeah, that would have been over.
It's like, everybody just save your fireballs.
Yeah, chill.
To like the very end of the day.
And all those persons were just grouping up. Like you could just be like, okay, let me just fireball, and it's just over. It's just over.
Get burned, Persians.
Yeah, get out of here.
With your God King.
If only.
So, do you have anything else you want to add about Glader before we call it?
I mean, those are the big things. I just built him like 20 minutes ago. But that's why his backstory. But yeah, soldier. I mean, he's super viable. I'm a little bit excited to play this version of him in something.
Maybe we'll have a one-shot sometime soon that we can kind of like.
That'd be real fun.
One-shots are nice to kind of get these like characters that you vault away out into the open and use them. Totally. Or DMPC it. I mean, you could always like. Glader's twin brother.
I did.
Dagler.
I do have Glader in my present D&D game, which is all Dino based. So he's a Triceratops instead of a Dragonborn.
A blue dragon.
But he's still a Paladin.
Right. Okay.
So I could totally just have a Eldritch Knight version of this by all means.
T-Rex.
Who knows?
Super smart T-Rex wizard.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I really like the direction you took. The spells are super viable. Like the polearm thing, I've never thought about that. Like I said, I think did I mention that in this episode that I only ever picture the sword fighter pretty much.
Oh, you didn't? No.
Yeah, like I only ever picture sword fighters for Eldritch Knights.
Yeah.
So like to even think about something else was like, oh yeah, I guess you could do lots of different stuff if you really think about it. Like
That's true.
Bow and arrow, or like there's just different things you can do. And I never planned to play this class just because I feel like it's like I don't want to make these hard decisions with my ability scores and like kind of feel spread out.
Yeah.
But like maybe that's part of the fighter build of it is like you can kind of tip it the other way with your ability score increases.
Yeah. If you went instead of the feats ability scores, like I feel like at level 10 I had 3 ability scores. I could have gotten my strength up any of these. That I might feel like bad about, I could get any of those up.
Yeah, I wonder if you could just like continue to dump dex or like your armor, your AC, like leave your AC in like more of a 14-ish range and have the shield first level reaction and like just kind of expect to use them in that way.
Yeah.
Like that's one way to tip it, or like there's other things you could do. Like polearm is a super unique way to like kind of keep foes back from having to like give them an extra wall in front of you to get through before they can actually do stuff.
I think that's why I went more like defensive with the spells, like just so it wouldn't be so up to, because my con is like middle of the road. It was 14, so I was trying to supplement my low dex, lowish con with some blur, which means they're not going to hit me, hopefully, and then shield also to get my AC up to 21 instead of 16. So that's all viable.
Yeah, you're not really going to be doing too much reaction stuff beyond that. It doesn't look like. So that's a really cool build. I like where you landed with it. I don't think I could have done better. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, let's get into the long rest then.
Ooh, time to go sleepies.
Hey everybody, we're in the long rest now where we're going to get ready for bedtime. And when we get ready for bedtime, we put on our Dungeoncast slippies. Oh, what's that? Oh, dang, I ripped the head off of this Will Slippy. Oh, what's the? I sewed on a special
It's a
dish
special
Jake
dish,
Slippy.
Jake
Here's your
Slippy.
set.
Oh, thanks, man.
I didn't destroy and rebuild yours live.
No,
I did with mine,
it's okay.
But yeah. Don't worry, little Willhead. You'll be back in a couple weeks. You stay right there, buddy. Yeah, we're going to get ready for bed with Jake's face on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get ready for bed, we imagine horrible things. And one of those horrible things is building our beholder. Housekeeping.
Yeah.
This episode is going to be out of order. It's going to be a little weird. So at this point, we've done an episode on Exactionals, which I will say, time is weird on the Dungeoncast. We haven't recorded that yet. We're not going to think about the beholder we've been building so far. We're just going to assign a beam and a feature. We're not going to really think about the rest of it.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I have to say, nope, we can't think about it. Let's just isolate this and just do it, and it'll insert onto the thing, and we'll fix it when we do the thing next time.
Time travel's crazy.
Time travel's weird. So let's think about it. We need a beam and we need a feature.
Okay.
So inspired from the Eldritch Knight. Do you have any ideas?
I was thinking something around the weapon bond, maybe. Like that seems interesting, but I don't know how to apply that.
Maybe
it
should have a spellcasting focus. So it's one of its eye stalks should be wrapped around the hilt of a sword.
Oh, that'd be dope.
That it's weapon bonded with.
Yeah.
Okay, and it can throw it and shit.
Yes.
So the beam is
just sword.
A weapon bonded sword beam. Yeah. It just throws a fucking sword at you and bonus actions it back to itself.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
What else? What should the look of it have? What kind of feature can we add to it to make it look eldritchy?
Eldritchy. I mean, the only thing that I'm thinking of is with high intelligence. I'm just thinking of making it look like a nerd, kind of. So I'm thinking glasses. Maybe
glasses,
maybe like a monocle.
A monocle.
Monocle of some kind.
I like it, but the monocle also gives off a hoity-toity, Monopoly guy sort of vibe.
It does.
I was thinking maybe it could be a fighter thing too, though.
Ooh, okay,
because we always tend to it's also a fighter. It's not just a magic caster. Maybe it's buff.
Maybe all of its eye stalks are just super muscly. Yeah.
So, okay, I know we said we are going to isolate this, but I think we turned the eye stalks into something on this beholder already. No, maybe we didn't. Should we make them all buff?
I think we should make them all buff. That sounds so good. Okay. And then one of them just has a sword in it.
I like it a lot. Still the eyeball.
Yes.
The eyeball is really good at looking at the thing it's going to throw the sword at.
Yes.
And for finding the blade.
Maybe the eyeball has a bullseye or a target as the eye actually, and then just going to throw it.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Hobbleman, we need you. We need you now more than ever.
Please.
So in the previous episode of this one, we'll have fixed the old beholder who we skipped stock on and feature, I think.
Yeah.
We're just going to take whatever we did for the Psy Warrior and layer it onto that, I think. And then this one will be the fresh, we're back to it. But there will be, we're ahead one beam. This beholder should have another beam and feature on it that it doesn't have yet, that we haven't recorded yet, but it does in this timeline.
Yes.
In the timeline you're listening to it, but in the timeline we're recording it, you're not. It's complicated.
It's so complicated.
But I like it. So we're going with the throw sword beam.
Yes.
and
buff
bonded sword.
Yeah.
And buff eye stalks.
Yes.
All the eye stalks are buff.
Yes.
I think it should have Byakugan style veins over its face for the buffness to really accentuate the buffness.
Maybe a 6-pack underneath its big scary beholder smile.
A buff beholder, a fleshy buff dude.
Hell yes.
Or whatever.
Thing.
They, them.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did it.
We did it.
Awesome work. Some notes, some housekeeping notes. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Dungeoncast, where we release polls and talk about contests. And I don't know if we're running one right now. I don't think we are. The future's weird. Will's on break. Let's not worry about it. I don't think we're running a contest, but we have some cool ideas for contests that I do need to pitch to Will that I might have already done. Time is weird. So the Dungeoncast on Twitter, Dungeoncast on Instagram. Go follow us there, please. Leave an iTunes review. Holy gosh, every time one comes in, you see our metrics spike. So it's one of the most helpful things you can do aside from actually talking about the show and getting people to listen to the show. So yeah, thanks. We launched on a new podcasting network. Hopefully this the transition was seamless. It's already happened a while ago because time is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you to our new hosts and with Blue Wire. Yeah, we're gonna be with them for the foreseeable future. So cool. Let's see. Do we have anything else that we need to talk about? I say that to Will usually, and he will be like, "No, I think we got everything." But thank you to everybody on Discord and for everybody that watches Super Quest Saga. If you want to see more of Jake, you can see him on Super Quest Saga. Yeah. Do you have anything else you'd like to plug or anything you want to talk about at the end here?
It feels like you got it. I'm just appreciative of all of our fans, like you said. We got dope fans in the Discord, dope fans in the comments, and yeah, watch Scoose. It's so fun.
Yeah, Super Quest Saga.
Super Saga.
It's 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, dungeon mastered by Will in sci-fi space setting.
Yes.
There's time travel. There's spaceships. There's lasers. There's magic.
Homebrews abound.
Homebrews abound. It's really, really fun. Yeah. We do a lot of cool radio stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody that watches it, I see no negative reviews really, so knock on wood. But hey, go check it out. It's on anywhere you can find your podcasts and stuff. And you can also see our good friend Josh Freeland, friend of the show, Josh Freeland, on there.
Heck yeah.
I think with that we can call it a game.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. The Dungeoncast.